on in Northland. This week we're going to go over some updates from some old cases, and then we'll go over some new cases today. So we're going to start off with some North Dakota cases. Case number 138045 happened in Richardson. Charles was on this one. The narrative is: after dinner, my fiance and I noticed strange movements in the sky. We proceeded to film the lights on our backs, lying on our deck, trying to minimize movement of the camera to really illustrate how these lights seem to move. Hope this helps anything. There was no video to this. So Charles finished it. Let's see what he came up with. It says, when interviewing the witness, it was evident that they both believed that what they saw was an orb. They both sounded clear, stable. The story was with the story that they were telling. The witnesses both work at a restaurant that they own. They both said that they watched the light for about 45 minutes while they laid on their backs on the porch. No sounds, according to them. So my thoughts on the video, and I wish the video was here, but like I said, there was no video attached, so I must have sent it to them. My thought on the video is that it's too hard to determine if the camera is moving or if the object is moving, and at the time of the report on July 31st at 10 o'clock at night, the sky should have still been somewhat light out, and yet in the video it's completely dark. And speaking with the witnesses, I think they believe what they saw, but I have to make my own determination on what it was, on what I was able to observe in the video and from the interview, and it is unknown other. So Charles says that's an unknown. If I had the video, I would have played it for you, but like I said, I don't have video for that one. This North Dakota case happened in Fessenden. Thermal footage of unknown objects. Again, same thing. I'd love to put it up here because when I read that, I was like, hey, this is going to be great. I can be able to see what's going on. There isn't any. So, high likelihood of camera artifact. Witness has not sent the video or stills as requested, stating having problems with sending it via email. We'll reopen if the investigator is able to speak with the witness and obtain the video. It's closed as UFO natural phenomena camera artifact, and that is from Anna. And that's probably how I would have closed it too, because if you're not going to send it to me, then, you know, I'm not going to say it's an unknown. I can't do that. Maybe I would put it down as information. I don't know. But yeah, if you got that stuff, you got to send it. You know, I can't investigate without it. So this one happened in Benson County in September. Again, this is another Anna one, and it's completed too. So I was watching the news around 10:15. And out of the corner of my eye, saw some lights outside my window. I got up, went to the window to see what it was, and I could see two bright white lights around 100 feet, about 10 to 15 feet above the ground. I watched it for a few seconds. It didn't move. I went to put on my slippers, go outside to see it better, and to see if there was any noise, but it was gone when I got outside. So I came back in, I was watching TV again, and when I looked out my window, it was about a half mile away. They were both just sitting there, and one of the lights started to move around. I watched it for a minute or so. Then I thought it was just my neighbor combining his crop. But the next afternoon, I drove around the block and seen the field had not been harvested. I'm just wondering if there's anyone else out there that reported this. So Anna again was on this one, and she came up with UFO natural phenomena. So let's see what she says. Witness did not respond to request for phone interview. Well, if we don't interview, that's going to make it kind of tough. Weather information is uncertain, as the nearest weather station reporting that day is 48 miles to the east-northeast of the location. High likelihood of clear to partly skies during the time of the observation, as clear skies were reported west of the location. Several bright lights would have been visible to the southwest, to the south-southwest, at an elevation of about 10 to 20 degrees from the address submitted. So the 10 to 20 degrees means 10 to 20 degrees off the horizon. Given the high amount of particulate in the atmosphere on that day from wildfires and the low elevation, the stars may have appeared to be much larger than usual, an effect similar to the harvest moon. As rain was reported at the closest weather station, there is a high likelihood of partly cloudy skies, which may have obscured the stars from view at times, and they may have been appearing to move. Yeah, you might ask about that. That is, it's called autokinesis. And what it is when you have almost completely black background and you're trying to focus on a light. Your eyeball can look at it for so long, but then it doesn't know exactly where to look, and it kind of bounces around. So it looks like the object was moving, when in fact it's not. So anyhow, getting back to that, based solely on the witness report and probable view from home via Google Maps, unable to confirm building is a residence.
Doors and turn out lights.
Yes.
This case is closed with a disposition of IFO, natural phenomena stars. It could have been Arcturus or maybe Vega. No, that's a North Dakota case. This is not Minnesota yet. I messed that up. Sorry, that was on me. November 11th in Wahpeton. Did I say that right? Okay. North Dakota at 5:45 in the morning. Charles is on that one, along with myself, which I learned yesterday when I looked at it, because nobody told me. So Charles is on it. So I was walking from my house to my garage. I looked up to my left. I saw a very large V-shaped light traveling slowly in a southeast direction. The shape was that of a flock of birds flying in a V formation, but solid, structured, and stable, and much larger. The light was a solid line as opposed to multiple lights forming a triangle. As the object traveled in the southeast direction, it also appeared to be moving down toward the horizon and away. The point of the V began to slightly round off. It seemed as though it was fading away from that point. The light was a yellowish white color and faded slowly away as the object disappeared. It only lasted about 45 seconds or so, and I was so enthralled and not quick enough to get to my phone, which I completely understand. But I've attached some drawings made by me within hours of the sighting. The first one shows a very pointy nature of the V. The second one is meant to show how it rounded off as it traveled out of sight, and the light was more white than yellow, but I used yellow because it showed up better. I have been looking at the internet to see if there are any pictures or videos out there of what I saw, but I can only find individual lights in the triangle shape, not any solid lines. I strongly feel this was not geese. So if it was geese, you could maybe see that light bouncing off their white bellies or something. So that's kind of what he was getting at here. So anyhow, here's the drawings. You can see the one on the left has got the rounded tip on it, and the one on the right is the one that he was looking at, and of course the map in the middle to kind of show where he was at. So Charles and I will both be on that, and we will let you know what we find out. November 17th in Wimbledon. Okay, how do you say that one? Okay, close enough. Wimbledon, I like it. Charles is on it. The fall of '97, so this is quite a historical one. I got off work sometime between 8 and 9, drove home approximately 28 miles to my house. It was pretty far away from town, so no city lights were visible. As I was driving north towards my turnoff, saw a brilliant flash of blue light from my peripheral vision out my driver's side front. As I continued north, I observed many lights flashing in the distance with what looked like to be at ground level. As I got closer, I realized that these were not house lights, Christmas lights, or vehicle. The surface area where the lights were was immense. So I drove a short distance, keeping the flashing lights in my rearview mirror, stopped my car, got out, looked backwards at the lights. The lights continued to circle the object, flashing red, blue, yellow, orange, and white. I don't know what object he's talking about, so hopefully Charles can clarify that. I decided to drive towards the object, so he drove slowly, approaching the object. As it got closer, I rolled my windows down and heard no sound except for my own car's engine. Stopped briefly, got out of the car. All I could see was a very large area radiating flashing lights in the distance. I continued driving for about a half mile down the gravel road. I was probably within 500 to 1,000 feet from the object and could tell that it was very large without actually seeing it. To this day, I regret not going any further and witnessing what could have been the most epic sighting of my life. But I went home, told my family what I had seen, and was met with disbelief and ridicule. Imagine that. Disbelief and ridicule. That needs to stop. I went to school the next day, told my classmates what I had seen. A classmate of mine said that her family lived out that way and had found a mutilated cow in the area. She said it had been sliced open, no blood anywhere, and pieces were missing. There's no media to this, and it's assigned to Charles. But that is an awesome case. Too bad it's 30 years old, because that would be a really interesting one. Okay, now we're going to do Minnesota cases. Trust me, the rest of these are all Minnesota. They're not North Dakota. All right, so Minnesota, July 28th in Plymouth. I tried to hit the ones that are up north here, but there are a couple of them that I hit that were down south. Okay, so Peter Collins is doing this one at one point when the raindrops began again. So this is kind of cropped here. Stared up the clouds, noticed an edge of the moving high altitude clouds, a bright white speck, focused on it, tried to identify it. Clouds moved next to it, but it remained stationary. It reminded me of a very similar experience I had as a teenager not far from here. And because of that, I continued to watch for any movement. However, it didn't seem to move, and the clouds moved in underneath it, and I didn't see it again afterwards. Peter Collins was on this one. Let's see what he says. I believe the witness is credible and did see something which appeared to stay stationary. He was able to see the object until the clouds moved under it and blocked his view. Maybe possible the object he saw was a plane that appeared to be stationary but was actually moving. Disposition is unknown UAV. Okay, this one was a case of interest. It's completed. We've talked about this one before, and I think this video works. I'll just let you watch the video. There's a small chrome ball that's in this video. You won't see it just yet. You'll see it once he makes the turn. And you're going to see it above cornfield off to the right. But then he loses it and he catches a water tower. But then he moves back to the left and you'll see it again. So.
Get it? See it?
Oh, went down.
There it is.
Should be right above the cornfield.
There it is.
Right there. But then he's going to lose it and he's going to pick up a water tower. That is not it. Then you scan back to the left and you're going to see it.
Right here. Let me see. Here.
There it is, right there. It's possible it's a balloon, but I doubt it. And it just slowly ascends up into the clouds. It will go in front of a tower, so you can kind of get an idea of how big it might be. It's probably about beach ball size, I'd say. About the size of a balloon. Well, yeah, that's just it. There's a storm going on right there. It's pretty windy. You can see the crops moving really crazy, but that thing's hardly moving at all. You think it'd be going all over the place. Yes. Yeah, it was going across.
It's going higher.
Exactly. It would have went up right away if it was a balloon. You're absolutely right. So then there it kind of went up into the clouds and then it disappeared.
You can't see it no more.
So
And
we're still kind of waiting on MUFON to do a photo or do the analysis of the video.
Here. Look.
Until then, that's where we're at. So it saw something speed across the street, caught corner of his eye. It was a silver chrome ball that you just saw. It stopped and moved 90 degrees to the right. From the time I saw it, it started recordings about 10 to 15 seconds. Observed the ball maneuver around the trees and houses, proceeding to catch up to it. Gravel road, headed east, doing my best to keep the recording going, hopefully catch it. From where he first saw it to where he ended up was almost half a mile. You can see it traveling inches above the cornfield, like when we first saw it. And again, if it was a balloon, it would have been high above the cornfield at that point. Observed the ball is traveling 7 to 12 feet above, dodging trees, house debris, corn stalks, and proceeded to gain altitude and disappear in the clouds. So we closed that out as an unknown UAV, but we're still waiting for the video analysis. And that's just kind of enhancement of what it was. Okay, September 28, 2024. Steve Hero was on this one. I kind of gave you a teaser of this one last month. Observed the object for about 10 minutes or longer, appeared to be slowly spinning. Towards the end of the sighting, the object straightened and started moving faster in a straight line. Lost sight when it went behind a tree. Witness number 2 was observing the object from a different location on the property, and said object vanished shortly after straightening out and gaining speed. I would have dismissed this as some sort of weather balloon, but I feel it was something else since it started to speed up and travel in a straight line. Yeah, weather balloons don't speed up. So that was completed. And when the photos are enlarged, you can see that part of the object is translucent, which reminded me of some type of balloon. Quick Google photo search. Yeah, say that 3 times real fast. Shows that this might be some type of high altitude research or weather balloon, but since the witness thought that it changed direction, began to increase in speed, that maybe wasn't the case. So, unknown UAV. Those are some interesting pictures. I don't think I've ever seen a weather balloon like a cylinder, though. You know, that's the whole thing on that one.
When I was a kid, I used to send up dry cleaning bags,
You used to send up dry cleaning bags as a kid.
but you can't see the candles or.
Right, yeah. Yep.
Probably not that.
Yeah, I don't see any candles in there. You're right. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so this one was in October, not that long ago in Sartell, which is just north of St. Cloud. Thank you. I'll spit it out sooner or later. And this is Jamie's. Please review. There was no sound. Starlink was not in the area, and the last launch was October 23rd. Hoping someone can identify this object with orbs. It's in progress. And the video doesn't really show much. It's right here. It kind of looks like an airplane. Not quite sure. Jamie, you're still on that one, right?
Yeah, I'm awaiting some more information from
Right on.
the witness.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much all you see. And the green thing that's floating around, that's just lens flare. That's nothing. All right, there we have it. Let's see, in Matoa, I'm guessing September 9th. Bill McNeff is on this one. It was at 9 o'clock at night. I was sitting on a deck, and a total of 7 blue orbs, at least as high as the stars, appeared to fly super fast with no noise across the sky. One set of blue orbs, some seemed bright, others were very close, like tailing. All flying, shooting across the sky within several minutes, and then all just disappeared. It could have been, yeah, I just copied and pasted this, so some of it's hard to read sometimes. Disappeared, and they could have been something, but I don't feel it. Unable to get footage. It happened so fast. No media in this one. Bill's on this one. Bill is the our chief investigator at the moment, so we'll see what he comes up with on that one. Moose Lake, Peter Collins again. No media on this one. Bummer. October 30th at 7:20 p.m. Noticed a rectangular object in the northern sky, had 2 rows of 6 to 8 dim lights. Also, the edge had the same color glow, almost matched the same colors of the stars. Moving west to east, it seemed to slowly vanish into the dark sky, maybe rotated on its edge, so underlights were not visible. No sounds, seemed to be 1,000 to 2,000 feet high at the most, definitely out of place in the sky. So Peter will do this and see what happens. I kind of got in my head what it might be, but I go to that often these days, so we'll see what Pete comes up with. Okay, this one was a fun one. Jamie and I worked on this one. I should have put your name on there, Jamie. I apologize. October 15th up in War Road, up by the Canada border at about 8 o'clock at night. Recorded a night lapse with a new super high speed camera, trying to get video of the Chinese word comet. And captured an unknown object coming to view and then make a descending circle before continuing on its path. Total real time was about 15 minutes. Analyzing the still photos from the time lapse, the object looks real strange and has different colored lights. Then seen a bunch of TikTok videos of the exact same object filmed in real time. So I'll show you this. I wish it was bigger, but the object is going to come in here, do a 360 and go down right there. And he slows it down. He shows it a few times. So you guys can watch this and kind of think of what it might be. There's the comet. That looks pretty cool. Yep, airplane maybe. Okay, now it's going to come slow. You can see it come in and do a 360 and then head back to the north. So any ideas? No, but that's probably what it would look like. Not Mercury in retrograde, no. Okay, so we finished this one up. When we're looking at the video that the witness sent, and after looking at Flight Radar 24, it was an aircraft. That was aircraft November 484 November Delta, which is a Piper Archer from the North Dakota State University flight program flying into War Road Airport that evening. Flight path clearly shows the aircraft doing a 360-degree turn about 6 miles south of the airport. This is exactly what the witness got on camera. The 360 turn is just a flight maneuver that newer pilots will learn, and it's just an exercise in finesse and aircraft control to maintain altitude, airspeed. It's a very good technique for training, and that's what they caught. So witness obviously was a little disappointed, but completely understood and agreed. So IFO, man-made object. Jamie, I should have put your name on that because you were the genius with that one. You did that one good. Okay, August 2983. So we're looking into the future on this one. Okay, I messed up a lot of these, didn't I? And walking at about noonish. Now I think the timestamp was just the normal timestamp that goes on if you don't fill it in. It just automatically throws that up. And Steve's on this one. So this is it was 1983, obviously. Let's see, my father and brother reported seeing, and this is Watton, if you don't know, because I had to look it up, is just south. It's on the southeast corner of Mille Lacs Lake. So this all happened right down there a long time ago. Father and brother reported seeing a UFO near our house in northern Minnesota in the early 80s. I do not have an exact date, but most likely between 82 and 84. My dad would have been in his 30s. My brother maybe around 6. They're driving to town to get some parts for my dad's chainsaw. And our truck, as they're coming up the stop sign at southeast side of Mille Lacs. There was a deafening noise, which caused my dad to stop the truck and look at where it was coming from. He said a saucer-shaped, metallic-looking UFO came up over the treetops from the northwest at a very low elevation and flew right over them, followed by 2 fighter jets. He said it happened very fast, but the thing that freaked him out the most was that he could clearly see the fighter jet pilot looking over and down at him in the truck as they went by. The saucer headed east, climbing an elevation, followed by the 2 fighter jets until he could not see them in the sky anymore. He said the saucer was sort of the same size as the jets, but a little bit larger than them, but not gigantic or anything. He said he told a few people about it, but they all called him crazy. Imagine that. And he did not make a report to the sheriff, because why would you want to deal with that anymore? Or anything, because he didn't want to stir up trouble or have people say he was crazy or the cops come nosing around. So my brother confirmed the exact details of the story as related by my dad. He said the noise was so loud and the truck was shaking as they went by, and he clearly saw the saucer. I'd love to get more information if possible about other sightings in the area if anyone has any stories. I didn't find anything. Well, Steve didn't find anything. I kind of did a quick look too. But this went down as information only. And the only main reason for that is because the person that reported it is not the witness. So whenever it's not the witness, it goes down as information only. Okay, this one happened in Barnum in October, about 8:30 at night. Steve was on this one again. He's already got it completed too. So let's see. It says, I went outside, and as I was facing east, I saw what appeared to be an airplane out of the corner of my eye. Noticed a red and green blinking lights in the straight pattern of this object coming over the tree line, flying north to south. When I looked back that direction, maybe 5 seconds later, I realized this object was not moving at all, but just standing in a still position, maybe about 120 yards away or so. It then split with 2 orbs coming out of the initial one to form a triangle that was pulsating in rainbow colors. As I stared at it, I had this very strange sensation inside my eyes. There was almost a haze around the base of the triangle, or maybe it was spinning. I honestly couldn't tell. Witnessed this for about 20 minutes. Went inside to grab my phone to record this, but I couldn't get my phone to register anything. But also at the time, it didn't seem important. I was in shock, and it was so sci-fi and surreal. I rubbed my eyes and went inside and back out a few times to see if my mind was playing tricks on me. And every time I came out, it was still there. I was enamored, but also a little frightened. This was not my first encounter with strange things, but this was the most intense experience I've ever had. And honestly, I can't stop thinking about it. I did send a sightings report the first week to the government reporting webpage, but I don't know if I can't shake it. It rules my daily thoughts now. So don't bother reporting it to the government. They don't care. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, there's a question. Okay. And I'm not being rude. I'm just making sure everybody can hear it. So. Has anyone reported, seeing I'm sorry, go ahead.
UFOs and Bigfoot at the same time?
Oh, has anyone ever reported UFOs and Bigfoot at the same time? Yes, you should have been here when Stan Gordon was presenting for us. Yeah. The answer is yes. Mm-hmm. Right on. We have
so I do have a lot of experience with that.
Okay.
Way more than this.
Sure. You know. Great. Well, we actually have a Bigfoot expert in the crowd today.
Okay. See who the Bigfoot expert is.
Uh-huh. Okay. I got down. Okay. So what did Steve come up with? He says, when I searched the New Fork database, I came across this report and discovered that the event actually took place on September 20th, not October 4th. So the weather data is from September 20th. On that report, she stated that she was not drinking or using drugs. Very sincere, claimed that she was traumatized by what she saw. Flight radar 24 indicated there were no planes in the area at the time. So they're going to classify this one as an unknown other. And that's what it came up with. All right, this one over in Moorhead. And Anna's on this one, a sign. That means she hasn't started it yet. It's 7 o'clock in the morning on November 5th. I was fishing with my friend. We decided to walk across. We decided to walk because it was getting dark. We walked the trail, stopped for a short break, and we were both looking in the sky and saw whatever it was. Tried to record it, but my phone couldn't pick it up. It was up there pretty far, so that's not surprising that would happen. And that's what's going on in the Northland. So thank you. Anybody got any questions on any of those? And again, I'm not being rude to you guys. I was just trying to make sure. All right.
That is really good.
Really? You're still here? The meeting's over. You can go home. Just go home. Seriously? He grabbed the top of his head? Oh, I can't wait to read the next book. Wow.